Adrian from Vermaak in my garden. It's great being with you guys again, and also with my two dogs as they have come with us on this journey in listening to these video sessions. And so it's a wet Port Elizabeth, which is good news for us as our dams are under 20%. We've had a bit of rain over the last while, which is encouraging. Would be great if you can keep praying for us that we'll see more rain. So today I'd like to speak on Nehemiah, who's a phenomenal leader and an excellent character. We can learn so much from him as we go through a very difficult time in being in lockdown. But we know that life will go back to the new normal. And so it will be good to look at Nehemiah, his life, what he did. And we know he built a wall in 52 days, which was absolutely amazing. But more than that, he rallied a team together that did amazing things, and in the end there was a wonderful joy and excitement amongst the people. And that's what will be great for all of us, that through it all we would find amazing and incredible ventures where we'll find fulfillment. And so in thinking about it, I considered Nehemiah's character. He was somebody that was faithful to the king, faithful to the tasks of being a cupbearer, and which was a noble task. And so something that we can learn from him is that despite his circumstances, he stayed true to what he had to do, and he was somebody that gave attention to detail, which was fantastic. And more than just that, he was somebody that prayed and held people on his heart and prayed for people in a way that was incredible, so much so that God opened those doors for him. Today, that is really what I want to focus on, is the doors of opportunity that we receive. And they don't often come, but when they do come, we should take them with both hands and then apply those correct principles in being effective. So why don't you come with me and let's look at it in more detail as I take a walk around and take a seat, and then we can turn in the scriptures to the book of Nehemiah. There's a wonderful scripture that I'd like to read, and it just shows you how well Nehemiah leads and how we can lead our own lives and lead others, and whatever our roles are. If we teaching 30 children in a class, if we a medical doctor looking after our patients, or if we in engineering or running businesses or involved in government, we can learn from Nehemiah's way of leading and how he led others. And I'd like to read from Nehemiah chapter 2 verse 17, where it says, "Then I said to them, you see the trouble we are in. Jerusalem lies in ruins, and its gates have been burnt with fire. Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, and we will no longer be in disgrace." I also told them about the gracious hand of my God upon me and what the king had said to me. They replied, "Let us start rebuilding." So they began this good work. And I love those verses. It speaks of a wonderful leader in Nehemiah, in believing in those who were discouraged, in great trouble, and disheartened. They weren't in a good place, and they had nothing to show for it. And Nehemiah believes in them and presents an opportunity to manage and to build something of worth and value for God, and to bring back that loyalty and that strength in the people of God. And they respond so wonderfully as they hear the words of Nehemiah, "Come, let's go do this thing." And so we see a beautiful picture of camaraderie and a team and a leader uniting and saying, "Let's go do this thing." And I love those moments, and I love it when I see it in the church that I lead, in the work that I do in the government and municipal environment. And so I long for those things, and it's either if I'm on team, or if I'm on team and being led, or if I'm leading teams, I'd love those moments where we can do some things and achieve some things and finish the job and say, "Wow, man, we did this thing together." And so Nehemiah believes in these guys. And to think back of the king believed in Nehemiah. Nehemiah was faithful, he was honest, he was of good character. But yet the king believed in him to go do a work and to build something. It just shows the trust that the king had in Nehemiah. And so Nehemiah believes in others. And I believe this is the number one trait for me in leadership, is to believe in others and then secondly to paint a picture of something that can be achieved, and then to build camaraderie. And then each context for me is different. We can lead ones or twos, 50s, 30s, hundreds, thousands. And so as leaders we can easily assess negatively of other leaders, but we got to not look through the lens of our own leadership, but consider the different contexts and different situations that people are in, and then to admire the leadership in those roles that people do. It can be inspiring somebody's life through the talents we have in sport, in playing a great game and doing it well. We can inspire others to live life effectively. So there's different ways, different situations that we can lead. And I find there's three main components of leadership, and we see it in Nehemiah's life, that it's to motivate others through our talents and character, to inspire through our leadership and our example, and then to influence, not manipulate, but influence people towards something better. And if we can take, even if it's ourselves, we are leading ourselves well, then to take one or two or three or many more towards something better, then we are genuinely leading. And we want to see this more and more in society. We want to see this more and more when those doors do open for us to go live life, that we can live with that effectiveness in making the difference, making the change, and bringing about something better through our lives. And so Nehemiah does this so very well. Finally, I'd like to just look at two strategies that Nehemiah undergoes in tackling this task of building the wall and bringing about this restoration work. And the two strategies he does is he facilitates and delegates the building of the sheep gate firstly, and then the fish gate. And what I believe he does, he considers the end in mind. And the end in mind is you want a whole lot of people to be together, flourishing, happy, full of joy, and living the way they should live, and even more importantly, living for God and being joyous in doing the things that God has intended for us to do. And so the sheep gate speaks about people. It speaks symbolically now. If you consider sheep, it's the people of God and people doing well. And he restores this sheep gate through his leadership as the first thing. And people are what really matter at the end of the day. Regardless of what we put together, what we build, we want people to enjoy it. And we want people to flourish and to do well. And so you and I want us to do well. When we have that door of opportunity, that we can flourish, that we can be restored, that we can consider our circumstances and the challenges we have, and then to consider how we can rebuild. And so the sheep gate gets put into place, and the wall gets built up to the tower, and then he goes on to build the fish gate. And the fish gate speaks about, for me, is the economy, the trade, the buying, the selling, the things we do, the talents we have in the various ways and means that we are going out of lockdown to do. And so the fish gate is put together and rebuilt. And there's three interesting things that come to my attention. Is the door gets put into place, there's bars put into place, and bolts. The doors for me is how we approach others with what we have, be it a business, how we reach others through marketing, through sales, and the brand that we develop in producing something of quality to sell to others. So there's a thought, when we put the doors back up again, if I can put it to you like that, in our businesses, how are we going to approach it? And the new normal that we're going to be facing in moving out of lockdown. And so to consider it even now over the time of lockdown, how best you can do the things that are up ahead. And then the bolts speak of values, to establish those values again, and to maybe to put new values into place. Most definitely the hygiene aspects, and to consider others with COVID-19 around. And to build with integrity, to build with people in mind, and to do the best that we can with that, in establishing that reach out with more effectiveness. And then it speaks of bars, and bars are those strategies, and it's one bar at a time. And I know it's going to go slow initially as we return back in the marketplace, but it's one bar at a time as we do the things that we are meant to do and to the best of our abilities. It's been really great chatting with you and considering Nehemiah's life, his character, his leadership, and his belief in a people that were in not good shape. But he led them so effectively that that wall was built in 52 days. And not only was that wall built, but Ezra came onto the scene and read the law, and the people got together and they were in joy. Even though they were in sorrow and they were weeping, they came into a place of joy. The joy of the Lord is our strength, as we read in Nehemiah in the chapters that follow from this text that I've read. And they came into a place of, yes, we did this thing. Yes, we got together and we did something great. And that's when we, as a people, really enjoy great things. And Jesus is the way, the life, and the truth. And He is the author of our faith. And He's wanting to perfect it through these times, to lead ourselves well, to lead others well, and to do amazing projects. I really trust for you and I to see some great things ahead. It's been great being with you. And I close with showing you something that I enjoyed doing when I was younger, is building these Lego things and houses. And I just want to end off by showing you this door opening. And may you and I see the doors of opportunity open to us in a new, fresh way. Guys, have a great day and a great week. It's been great chatting with you. Cheers. Bye.